Hi guys, so today I didn't want to just review a watch, but I wanted to take a look at some of the most impressive websites showing the watches and the best qualities. So I put together some of my favorite sites that are kind of innovative, eye-catching, just, kind of technically cool. Like, here we have the Haraj, and, I love this sequence here. I'm also a photographer, so a few of these are simply because of the quality of the media itself, and other sites are a combination of the site and the watch themselves. But first up here is the Haraj. This is their K2 GMT. I just absolutely love how clean the photographs are, or the computer generated images are. It's really hard to tell which is which. I mean, we're going into kind of deep fake territory here. But just the sequence of how they show you the watch, the micro rotor here, they've done such an amazing job. And for me, typically I wouldn't like a shiny, high polish watch, but man, I'd wear this one all day. This one, the Haraj, every jewel, every part that you see that would typically come pre-assembled from a part supplier or someone is actually all assembled in-house by their team of watchmakers. So everything you see there is in-house, and it's a small team. They do not have many. In this particular one, it's 10 millimeters thick. It's like 100 to 200 meters water resistance. A true 12-24 hour GMT, 70 hours of reserve micro rotor silicon, and then they also have these Artec Gen 2s. And just the detail of the dials, the especially the Jura green, and it's kind of inspired, they say, by the early spring of the forest, where the landscape is just coming to life, and you can definitely see that. Next up here is the Fortis. It's the F. It goes from F39 to 41 to 43, as you guys know. But just the quality of the video and the photography here, and the detail showing both the detail and quality of the watch itself, it just blows me away. I mean, these watches look like the best safes you can buy that might have been made by Mercedes or Rolls-Royce. It's insane how clean and sharp and precise they are. Their designs just always blow me away, and it's this kind of a attraction that you kind of know, okay, this is one that I've got to have, because for years I've been looking at this, thinking just how beautiful it is, how solid looking it is. So you would really never tire of it, and it's something that's not too wild. It's not too not too crazy where you couldn't pass it on to generation. They also have the Stratoliner, which has really been catching my eye lately, even though it still has that kind of vintage trend. But I'd still stick back with these Fliegers. They're just amazing pieces. I really love them. The lume was the only thing that disappointed me, because when you see it in pictures all the time, they always go to this UV light version, and you think, oh, that's going to have the different colors of lume, but that's only under UV light. So that was the only thing that's kind of disappointing. I don't know how often you're going to be in UV light, but other than that, that's a great watch. All right, next up is the Nomos Glashütte. This is the Autobahn limited edition. They're going to make 175 of each of the variations of the dials that you'll see. The photography and camera work to bring out the details of the dial are really outstanding. To me, this sells the watch. It was a cool watch to look at first, but then when you see this super close and clear macro, the level of curves and texture and step-ups of those pads, or the lack thereof of texture on the curves, that's what sold it to me. The black one that you see here, that would be it for me. The fact that the black is actually loomed on those pads as well, the same turquoise as the other ones, is pretty cool. It's only 10 millimeters thick, and I just love this dial layout. It is so minimalist but so purposeful, and reminding me of the auto industry. Those radial numbers on there are kind of vintage. Where that date is looks like the odometer of a car, where that would be. And the fact that minute hand looks more like a second hand kind of lends to the fact that you could read this more as a one-handed watch, just using the hour hand placement to sort of see where where it stands to look at the time. So this, obviously you're paying for quite a bit more as far as like a work of art than you are anything else, which I think is worth it. They've got other lines, obviously, but that Autobahn's my favorite. All right, so real quick, I'll go to the Accutron, the Space View in DNA, and this is a great website intro. I just really loved it. It reminded me of the Matrix movies. It has an open skeleton type dial that normally would be a huge turnoff for me, but here I'm all about it. I love the way this thing works, the way it looks, but you dig into this website and then you can go down a rabbit hole. It's very cool. It's definitely where art and engineering are just kind of shoved right there in front of your face. So I'm a big fan of that. So definitely on my wish list. Okay, doing a complete 180, we go from Accutron to Erlangen. So there's nothing technically special or eye-catching about the website itself, which I know is what this video is about, but I think that's the whole point. In my opinion, Erlangen is the finest watchmaker in the world, and their attention to detail, it doesn't need any hype. It doesn't need any glitz or glamour to the website. The website is exactly what it needs to be. It shows the details of the watches, which is their bread and butter, right? I mean, when you take a look at these, all you need is a loupe or even a microscope to fall more and more in awe of these pieces. And if the dials and cases weren't beautiful enough, I mean, and you can look at these all day long, but it's obviously their movements, which is always going to be the encore showpiece. And I'd love to get my hands on one someday. I don't think I ever will. Maybe at a show, but other than that, I'll just have to live vicariously through others, or just keep looking through their websites. But just absolutely love what they've done here. And we'll again do another 180 from this classic watch to BAM, the Resonance Type 1 through 5. So yeah, sorry for doing the flash of red in your face there, but that is kind of what Resonance is all about. It's just kind of a shock and awe. And the website needed to be what it is here, right? If you go into each one of these different types, you can just go down to the nth degree of how these watches were built. The different styles and shapes and how to move them, what they're made out of. But the photography is fantastic. The computer generated movement that they've created to kind of show you how the watches work is awesome as well. But yeah, you can see some of the details here, and obviously these are, if you don't know, I'm sure you do, but if you don't, these are the oil-filled dials. So regardless of what angle you're looking at, it kind of looks a little bit, if you don't know any better, it looks like a smartwatch, I guess. But I'm sure that is blasphemy to them to hear that. But I love how they break down everything and show you how it's built. It's got a really cool configurator here where you can kind of play with the dial, and you can either do it on the dial or you can do it kind of off to the side to say, okay, if I wanted to see 10 o'clock, what would that look like? Or if I wanted to just grab the hands here, you can just kind of start turning it, and then you would see what the dial would do. As most of you likely know, the entire dial moves, and it's really a showpiece. I mean, it's something that would be a major conversation starter if anyone could even get past the price that you paid for these watches. But I do love them. I think they're great. They're all probably a little bit too large for me. They're also way too expensive for me. But again, these are watches that I've not got my hands on yet, and some of what I want to do with this channel is to do that, to be able to find folks who will kind of allow me to take a look at these and get a real first impression from someone who has never had one on their wrist before, or taken a look at it, and is it different in person than it is kind of on the website. But yeah, take a look at their website. It is really detailed, fantastic, each one of these pieces kind of shows you the layering, how it's put together. And just let me know if I missed anything as far as websites that you enjoy. Thanks for watching.